FreeSpace is the story of people who've come through its doors. This is Mark. 2 years ago, Mark was homeless and had an idea, but he needed space and he needed people to make it happen. 2 years ago, I was on this same stage with my Capstone team presenting Access Commons, a platform to allow people to find space, retail, commercial, kitchen space that was sitting idle that they could rent for events, for pop-ups, whatever they wanted to do. 2 days after we graduated, we got a call from the restaurant owner of one of the restaurants that we'd interviewed as part of our Capstone research, asking us if we wanted to do a pop-up next week. We'd done hundreds of hours of market research, but hadn't done an event, hadn't done a pop-up. So we said, sure, why not? We found a chef, we found a DJ, we found some servers and drag. We told all our friends and invited them to our first pop-up, which was a huge success. The chef was happy, the restaurant was happy. Our profit margin was slightly lower than our financial models had predicted, but we had fun, and we saw how easy and powerful it was to transform vacant space temporarily. There are hundreds of vacant spaces all over San Francisco, inviting graffiti, trash, violence, drugs. Enter FreeSpace. FreeSpace transforms vacant spaces into temporary community hubs. We started almost 1 year ago when a group of us formed a partnership with the city of San Francisco, a real estate company, a local nonprofit, and were able to secure a lease for a 14,000 square foot warehouse in Soma for $1 for the month of June. So we had a team, we had a building, we had to decide what to do and how. We naturally fell into a do-ocracy, or an ad-hocracy, allowing leaders to emerge and the community to contribute what they wanted. So with one rule, no money, we opened our doors on June 1st. Almost overnight, artists transformed the building, turning it into a figurative and literal blank canvas. A grand experiment in what happens when you give people infrastructure, but no real structure. The community came forward with ideas for events, and we got out of their way, hosting 119 free events with thousands of people coming through our doors in that first month. We also had space to give to burgeoning ventures, like fellow Presidio venture Hero Hatchery. And remember Mark. He came through our doors on the first day, sharing his story and how he pulled himself out of poverty by going to tech shop and learning new skills, eventually opening his own laser cutting business. And now, almost a year later, he wanted to give back to the community by opening the Learning Shelter, a program to teach the homeless individuals maker skills. We decided to commit to helping him see this through to reality, adding another description to FreeSpace, a community incubator of social impact projects. We helped him host a hackathon, pull together a curriculum, introduce him to the city, to foundations, to businesses, and even found his first staff member through the FreeSpace community. And as of Wednesday, I'm excited to announce that he started the Learning Shelter and welcomed the first cohort of four students through the doors. We had too much energy and too much momentum and too much recognition to just let it go after 1 month. So we kept it going. We were invited to the White House to be celebrated as champions of change for civic innovation. And we're contacted by people all over the world wanting to open a FreeSpace, from Detroit to Dammam, Saudi Arabia. And so now, as we're approaching our first anniversary, we're in 26 cities in 18 countries. We won a grant from the city of San Francisco to keep going. We're in our second location in San Francisco at 6th and Market with an even better deal, $1 for 6 months. And we continue to offer free community-driven programming, foster community-related social impact projects, and are helping people launch careers. Artists who've created art in the space are getting recognized, their art's being sold, they're being commissioned to paint elsewhere. Yoga teachers, youth advisors, educators, design strategists are launching their careers after prototyping their ideas in FreeSpace. We even started a program to bring together the tech community with nonprofits to help address challenges that the nonprofits were facing. And this has recently been rolled into a new program that the Mayor's Office of Civic Innovation is starting this month. And more than that, we're reinventing the story of how we exist in our world, that we don't have to rely on business as usual. that real estate doesn't have to go to the highest bidder, that policy and urban development don't have to be influenced by lobbyists, that communities don't have to fight with each other, but rather can have a safe, neutral, creative space that invites community, nonprofits, technologists, government to come together and collaboratively find solutions to challenges. And while we don't have a traditional business model, we have a value model, one that values input, ideas, action, passion, participation, and collaboration as the key drivers in changing our world and in changing our cities and the way that we live in them. And even though our presence in the buildings may be temporary, when we leave behind the memory of what's possible. Thank you.